So the week that we went in to speak to the center, that was a Tuesday, and we didn't come back until Tuesday. So my mom basically told me, like, okay, you've only been here on Tuesday, so this time I'm gonna pick you up on Friday, okay? And Friday was Halloween, and yeah, so she's like, I'll pick you up Friday, come home, Halloween, all that. So I was like, I mean, usually I go back on Sundays, so, coming on Tuesday and leaving on Friday isn't too bad. Anyway, on Thursday, after a day of doing absolutely nothing and then going to English, after English, I'm like, well, nothing to do now. Then I saw on Instagram that there was a Halloween party tonight, and I was like, I'm here. I might as well go. Funny, it seems like a lot of the parties are on Thursday nights. So, because not a lot of people have classes on Fridays, but not a lot of people do. So Thursdays usually when people are like partying or whatever. So, when I stay on Thursdays, that's when there's most likely a party. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go. Because thankfully I had brought my costume. I don't know why, but I was thinking like, oh, like maybe I can wear it like the day before Halloween to be in the Christmas, oh God, got Christmas on my mind. I was like, to be in the Halloween spirit. But it turned out being helpful that I had it because I was able to wear it to a party. And it was in the bar, so this party was 19 plus, so I needed to bring my ID, even though I don't drink, but like just to be in there because they don't know what you're doing, you have to bring your ID. So my costume was this tiger. It was like tiger ears, a little bow tie, and a tail. It's nothing special. It's something we got at the dollar store back in August because our campground was doing this little Halloween and August thing where like we go around, we trick or treat, we get candy. It's fun. But yeah, so I was like, I'll just bring this. It doesn't take up room. Maybe I'll need it. And turns out I did. So I actually ended up doing makeup. I didn't bring like any like fancy Halloween makeup because I didn't think I'd be doing this. So I just had to make the best of what I use every day. And put the picture, it didn't actually turn out too bad. And then I ended up doing that the next day too when we actually went trick-or-treating on Halloween. But yeah, so I wore my little tiger costume and I was like, okay, we'll go to this party. And it wasn't bad. It's weird, like people are drunk and crazy and I'm not, but I was just kind of standing there awkwardly until this guy actually came up to talk to me. And he was very nice. And for like the first hour, 2 hours, was very awkward because in parties it's like I can't mask the autism, which it's probably autism, cannot hide. Like I can't talk, I can't think. So he's like talking to me, trying to ask me things, and I just keep saying like, I don't know. Yeah, no, I don't know. Like I couldn't even talk. He's like, come on, you gotta talk. You can't just smile. Like we talked and we did like a little photo booth. But yeah, I was so awkward because I couldn't think over how loud the music was. Like I'm terrible at parties. Like I cannot mask. But yeah, so it was really awkward. And he's like, do you want me to like go? And I'm like, no, I like talking to someone. I'm just really bad at it. I'm sorry. And I actually brought my mascot in my pocket because I'm always worried there's going to be like a fire or something. Like during the midterm for English, I didn't need to bring any of my stuff, but I did because I was too paranoid there'd be a fire, including my dead laptop from when my charger was broken. And you see that in my weekly vlog that I did too. Like I brought this everywhere because I was so paranoid. But yeah, I do find people at university aren't as mean. So like I took out my mascot in my pocket. I'm like, I have a plastic chihuahua. Is that interesting? And he's talking. He's like, oh yeah, I remember the commercials for those. But yeah, it was really awkward for quite a while until we decided to go outside and you can actually hear yourself again. And that's when I felt better, and that's when we actually started talking. And at this point, I wouldn't shut up. I was like, blah, 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 blah. And like, he was shocked. He's like, okay, wow, I'm certainly noticing a lot more words now. And I'm like, yeah. So I told him about the assault situation and some other traumatic, I don't know why I started talking about like all these things that have happened in my life. And he's like, oh wow, your life sucks. And like we just talked for like quite a few hours until like, I don't know, the party was over at midnight, but like I swear we were out there till like 1, 2, I don't know, pretty late. But yeah, we just like talked for quite a while and he was really nice. Other people were drunk and crazy. He had like one drink, I didn't have any, but like we were watching these people and we're like, wow, people are drunk, high, and stupid. But yeah, we talked for quite a while and he was very nice. He doesn't stay in residence and he's actually one of the few that has classes on Fridays, poor soul. But yeah, he was very nice. and we didn't talk for quite a while. Like a week or two ago, he followed me back on Instagram, and we've been DMing a bit, so that's really nice. So, you know, that party wasn't too bad. Anyway, so the next day, went home, Halloween, and then 2 days later, I found out that my friend had died. And, you know, it was crushing, it was horrible. So, I didn't go back until the next Monday, because again, the strike's still going on. But yeah, I was devastated. Everything was really starting to get into me. The anxiety, the stress, the strike, the assault, my friend dying, just everything was bad. I'm like, I would like call my mom for hours crying, being like, I can't do this, I don't want to do this. And she's like, well, think of options. Like, I'm just worried if I drop out, I'll never amount to anything. I'll be a stupid little dropout who can't do anything while my sister's so successful. And like, if I like switch to like a community college, I'll look stupid. Or if I just dive right into work, I'll never do anything but work at McDonald's. Like, you know, like you're worried. Like, I'm worried. Like, if I don't do this, does that mean I'm not good enough? Like, is my life gonna be ruined if I don't go to university? Are other options still good to help you have a good life? Like, it's rough. Anyway, so this was the last week before the break and also the last week of the strike. So yeah, that week was rough. And on Tuesday, our essay was due for English. And I was losing my mind. I could not figure out how to use the printers in the library. I tried to print it here, but our printer, it sucks. So I had to print it there. And I could not figure it out. It took me hours, and I was like crying and having a mental breakdown over a printer. That's how bad I was mentally at this point because of everything that happened. Like, I was crying and breaking down over a printer, and I'm like, if I can't figure out a goddamn printer, I can't figure out life. I can't be here. I'm too stupid to be here. I'm too retarded, you know? Like, it's not good. Like, I just couldn't handle the stress and shame of things anymore. Eventually, after an hour, I figured out the damn thing, and I was able to print it out, and I was so relieved. I was so worried. I was like, if I don't get this printed, that'll be the end of our friendship with the English guy. Like, ugh. So I finally make it back, and then I couldn't figure out my little stapler. Yeah, I got this little, like, stationery kit, like, 2 months before, and I was trying to figure out the little stapler, and I couldn't figure it out. Almost had a breakdown again, but I figured it out. And then I text my mom, and I'm like, so I'm totally losing it. I had a breakdown over a printer and a stapler, and she's like, okay, everyone has days like that. You just need to breathe. Oh, thanks. I'll keep it in mind. Oh, yeah. Like, my mom would drop me off, and she'd be like, and don't forget to eat. Yeah, thanks. I'll put it on the list. But no, I know she's just concerned for me, but I'm concerned for myself, too. Anyway, so I got the essay sorted. But, yeah, I was completely losing it. It's one of those situations where you say everything's fine, and then you have a breakdown over a printer. Also, after my friend died, I just kind of lost a lot. I kind of lost my whole style. Like, my usual hair bows and necklaces and bracelets I wore were gone, and I was just wearing all black. Like, I was wearing, like, the same thing for weeks. It was, like, this all black thing. I was washing it. Like, don't worry. But, like, for weeks, I was kind of losing my whole style until that day, the English guy talked to me, and I told him about it, and he was like, that's terrible. And I was like, yeah, I kind of lost my whole style. But as you guys saw in that vlog, the weekly vlog, after I had like a breakdown one night, I was like, I need to better my life, and the start of it is bringing back my style. So that's when that happened. Anyway, so that week everyone's just hyped for the break. English was really good during that week. That's when we were doing A Doll's House mostly, which was awesome. But after that week, I was finally free. Yeah, we had a week break in November, and you know, that was when I started making videos. I did quite a few music videos. I started A Doll's House. Like, yeah, it was good. But yeah, that was my little break, and then I had my friend's funeral that week, or that weekend I should say, and yeah, I was just kind of a mess, but trying to get by. Anyway, it was during the break we got an email saying that the strike was over and that next Monday our classes would resume. Part of me was like, yay, thank goodness. The other part of me was, oh fuck no, because there were only 3 weeks left in the semester. So that meant that we had to cram 6 weeks worth of content in 3 weeks. And boy, was it rough. Other classes, like my roommate told me, like, yeah, we like dropped some chapters. No, not my classes. We did everything at lightning speed. And it was so terrible. It was a very painful 3 weeks. Especially in astronomy, he's like, okay, we're gonna try and do this in record time. I was only more confused. More information that he gave, I couldn't keep. Like, everything was just gone. And honestly, in that class, nobody else really paid attention either. I'd look over and see people playing, like, Tetris or shopping for shoes. So I don't know how they did the test. I don't know if they cheated. I don't know if I'm the only one who did terrible. But, yeah, that class was just humiliating. And, like I said, I did awful. So, like, the guy was nice, but I couldn't do it. But, yeah, the strike finally ended, and my grades still weren't great. But we finally started doing more psychology classes in person, which was really good. And, yeah, they weren't too bad, but, yeah. Anyway, so we get back from the break, and I'm like, great. Gotta face these classes again. So psych wasn't bad, like I said, but astronomy, I like the guy, but his class, I can't. But, like I said, even though there were those 3 tests that I did terrible on, there was still a project, and I was like, is this the chance for me to redeem myself? And it's marked. I can't even look at it because I didn't go up and sketch it in person. I didn't go to the telescope. I should have, but I was just too nervous. So, like, I looked at the picture online and did all that. I don't know what I'm doing. But that week I got there and I was immediately like, oh, I forgot my sketchbook at home because, like, I was going to, like, sketch the moon. And I was like, crap, what do I do? So that's when I made a very risky and dangerous decision that nobody can know about. Well, nobody in my family, that is. I went to look at my backpack, and I found that I had some money, like $15, and I was like, what if I walk to the Dollarama and buy a sketchbook? So the next day, that's what I did before class. I went out early in the morning. It was rainy. It was cold. I was wearing my jacket, my hat, and scarf that my best friend gave me. I wore socks on my hands as gloves. But yeah, the dollar store, it was like 30 minutes away to walk, and I was like, this is gonna be terrifying, and I might die and go missing and never come back, but I gotta try. So I did. And let me just say, the city is terrifying. We're becoming a bit more familiar with it since we have to go back and forth so much, but this part, like, let me just say, I'd never been there, or like, if I haven't, not in a long time. So there's like this little mall, and it has a Dollarama, and I was like, guess that's where we're going. And I practiced the route by clicking on Google Maps. I like to do that sometimes when I'm bored, just click around on Google Maps. And I like practice, like, okay, this is where I turn, this is where we walk, because I'm walking. Also, walking in the city is terrifying. Crosswalks are terrifying. Like, I can't go on them on my own. Cars are terrifying. I'm worried I'm gonna get kidnapped. Like, because a few months ago, my best friend and I were almost kidnapped in the city, so it's bad. But yeah, I was terrified, but I was like, I gotta try. So I have the maps pulled up on my phone, not the same Google Maps I clicked on my laptop, but it was a maps. And like, we're walking and we're doing pretty good. It's terrifying, but I'm doing it. It's cold, it's painful, but we're doing it. I was like, I can't believe I'm doing this. If my parents ever find out, I'm never seeing the sun again. But if I die, I die. And this was a bad idea, but I was like, gotta keep pushing through. And we were doing pretty good until at one point I panicked and took a wrong turn. I actually knew it was a wrong turn, but I was like, maybe I can get around this way without having to do that crosswalk. No, I didn't. So this is where I started having a breakdown because I was very lost. I'm just trying to like follow crowds of people so I don't look crazy, don't get kidnapped. I'm like, I've never really been in this part of the city. Where am I? So I'm like walking. Maps keep showing me where I'm supposed to go, but it's not working. Like, it's saying, turn this way. It's a minute away. And then you go this way. Now it's 3 minutes away. Now it's 4. Like, it was so confusing. I was like, I'm not gonna make it. I don't even know if I can find my way back to school. So I was completely freaking out and basically crying and freezing. And I was like, this was such a bad mistake. I'm probably gonna die here, get lost, never come back. So I'm like trying to follow it, but I have no idea where I am because this is not the same way that I took when I was practicing. It was bad, and I was like, I'm not gonna find it. The map says it's right there, but it's not. Like, I'm just about to cry. I'm lost and thinking about how you guys are never gonna hear from me again. I'm never gonna upload another video. Like, I thought it was the end. And I was like, this was such a bad mistake. Why did I do this? Also, yes, I did burn my hand on our pellet stove last week, so ouchie. I'm just walking around, no idea where I'm at, until I walk by a building and I suddenly hear, and I look at the maps, and I was there. I made it. And I was like, oh, it's right there. Oh my god. So then I walk into this mall and I'm like, I made it. I'm in a mall by myself without my parents. I walked here. I managed to walk somewhere in the city to accomplish something. I'm here. I did it. Now, it's not a very exciting mall, honestly. Like, there's not too much there. A lot of kind of things I'm not too interested in, or at least, like, not on my own. Like, nothing I was really, like, too interested in, and I didn't have a lot of money. But I was like, there's a Dollarama. So I go in, I find the sketchbooks, I picked one, and I'm like, I can't believe it, but how am I gonna find my way back? Am I gonna die? I, like, brought my backpack so, like, I can put things in. And then I'm like, you know, while I'm here, to reward myself for not dying, I'm gonna buy a few more things. So I bought that Bluey Mash'em, and then I also bought this little snowman stuffy, which I think is so cute. There were so many stuffies, and I'm like, I gotta get one, and I'm like, I'll take the snowman. So yeah. But yeah, and it came to almost $15, so it was pretty good. Anyway, so after I checked out, I walked around the wall for a bit, and then I walked outside, and I was dreading it, and I'm like, okay, I gotta find my way back. So I pulled out the maps and I got to work. And this time I actually took the right way. I decided that I would go the way that I practiced on the maps, which is what I should have done to begin with. So I'm walking back and I'm like, okay, I think I have a better idea now. Until I realized the Halifax Public Gardens were right there, and I'm like, I've heard so much about this place. It's so cool. I'm right here, it's free, I might as well go in. So I walked around in there for a few minutes until I was like, okay, I probably should get back in case I die, in case I go missing. So I managed to walk back, and the walk back was much easier. I didn't get too lost, I didn't get stuck too much, and I was able to make it back. And I made it back, and like, I get in there and I'm like, I did it. I actually walked somewhere, bought something, and walked back. I am such a sane adult. Although, what's really embarrassing, so I had the maps on for the way back, and like every once in a while, it didn't really give me too many verbal directions. Like, even when I was lost going there, I was like, can you speak? Can you say something? But it barely said anything. But I used it on the way back to school, and like, it hasn't said anything. And I just like put the university in general. There's different entrances and stuff that'll be like listed as different buildings on the maps, but I'm like, I'm just gonna put the school in general. So I get inside and I'm walking over to the elevator until the maps says completely out loud, you've reached your destination. And it was really loud. And so I'm in the school and it makes a loud noise and people look at me and I'm like, that's embarrassing. So yeah, that was quite humiliating. But yeah, I made it back to my room and I was like, I did it, I did it, I did it. Then a few hours later, I went to astronomy and it wasn't too bad. I went to astronomy, the first class after the strike, and I was like, I'm in for the next few weeks. Very stressful, cramming so much. He was talking so much faster when I already couldn't keep up with him. Like, ugh.